What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face
What are you on about? What are you on about? Okay. Oh, okay, chatter. Okay. Oh shit. Okay. Hey, let's take this one from the top, chat. Let's take this one from the fucking top. Completely threw off what was gonna be my like pre-stream conversation with this fucking insane statement. And I am reading right now. Hold on. My my webcam is off on this scene. Holy shit. Okay. All right. I'm gonna read this one, right? So, assumedly on the internet, when things come to me, I have to assume that they are taken at face value. I cannot assume people are joking on the basis of people do say these things. Of which, in the conversation of the conflict that is Israel-Palestine, I have seen many a strange statement said. Of which this was pretty tame in comparison. But I'm going to read this, right? A chatter said, the quartering is a new Destiny, because Destiny is busy being the new Jar Jar Binks for the IDF, who is being the Federation, assumedly from Starship Troopers, right? I assume they were joking, but you know, when you call somebody like Destiny is the Jar Jar Binks of the IDF, it's just like an insane statement that I could see somebody on Twitter say, right? Business as usual ever since a reality TV star became president. To which I only said one thing. I said that it was schizo posting. and they got really mad. I guess at first they felt offended. And then they followed it up with, usually only illiterate kids accuse me of that, but I've heard you try to read what I wrote, and I can tell you're stunted by your career choices, which is hilarious because I get paid to sit around here and talk about the guys who think Warhammer's gone woke and fucking women give me money and call me hot and say they want to share their 401k with me. Oh, boo-hoo, I've made dumb career choices. Ugh. You assumed I was having a mental disorder like a child. Yes, I am. I do assume you have a mental disorder. I assume you have a mental disorder right now. I assume you are mentally disabled. Yeah, and you don't have to be schizophrenic to schizo post. Thank you. Thank you. Take the L. I don't know what to fucking tell you. Like if it was a joke, listen on the internet, it might help you to have a tone indicator, right? Because there are people on the internet who think that Benjamin Netanyahu is paying Destiny streamer man's paychecks, okay? And it's probably not the case. He's probably not a foreign agent. Shocker. But you stumbled while trying to read a comment where I called you illiterate in less than 20 words. But yeah, L me. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, Diesel didn't read my chat without stumbling over his words, almost like he's doing it live and he's not reading off of a script in front of a camera. What? What is I've seen you in chat before. Why are you like so fucking mad? Holy shit. You're balding. You're balding, chatter. Okay, you're balding. All right. Here, go take like a fucking timeout for like 5 minutes. You need it. What a wild. Oh, Diesel, you've been epically owned because you mispronounced something.
Diesel, I've got a stomach bug and I'm stuck in bed, plus I'm home by myself, so I need a friend to help entertain me and distract me from my anxiety.
Aw.
Thank you for being that friend.
That was very sweet of you, Kim. I hope you feel better. Sorry I've started off this stream being extra loud today. But someone was very annoyed that I called them schizophrenic, and they proceeded to then confirm my allegations that were met with 0% seriousness. So I needed that though. I think we needed it. Wait, Diesel, this guy's channel is mad. I'ma send it. Is it really that cuckoo? Should I am I about to be am I about to discover something? Is something about to be bestowed upon me? Are we about to just make fun of a random chatter that's smoking a crack pipe? Drop it in drama chat, Moist Teeth. Drop it in drama chat. Let's take a gander. This is the first time I've caught you like live. Hey man, you know, we're off to a really interesting start today.
This is obvious evidence of Diesel being ESL. Shocking.
Oh my god. Hold on. Here. I have too many tabs open. I'll go find it. Oh, I did find it. Oh, they're crazy. Oh, this person's like actually crazy. Never mind. This person's like actually crazy. Uh-oh. Hold on. Let me pull up the window capture for this window. Everything's all fucked up because of this stream from recent.
Epic start to the stream already, Diesel. Love your work, keep going, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Here we go. I gotta fucking fix everything. Everything's like broken. Here we go. Perfect. All right, guys. So apparently the chatter who just like railed on me and that I called schizophrenic may actually have just been schizophrenic. That's it? That was the whole thing? Okay. Oh, okay. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Okay, okay. What is this? These are just like AI generated alien pictures that you're posting? It's just AI alien crap. That's it. You're crazy. You're schizophrenic. You have a mental disorder. Oh, shit. Yeah, you were just somebody who was like pissy at me for what? Making fun of the AI crapola? Bro, he's literally pogging in that. It's like podcasts. Okay, this is just somebody's music. Shadiversity sent his best agents. Check his community post. Do you guys think it's do you guys think that rich people buy their papal towers? You know what, Cooking with Silence, you got me. I can't speak English today. All right, you happy about that? All right, you got to win. Do you guys think that rich people buy their paper towels already dispensed and spread out on the individual sizes? Or do you think they tough it out and tear the paper like the rest of us? Good question. I have supported you for the last decade on this platform, and you mute me and do this to me. And you fucking make fun of people with mental disorders. When have I not done that? When have I not done that? I do that all the time. I do that all the time. I make fun of people with mental disorders all the time. Okay? What do you mean? I call people schizophrenic all the time. Listen, man, you supported me for the last decade. That's great. Okay, whatever. Then you should know that I'm definitely not that kind of person who's gonna be like, oh, what an asshole. Pray to God I don't get you. Okay, you're crazy. Like, you're actually crazy. Pray I don't come get you. Come, bitch, I'll execute my Second Amendment rights right on my front doorstep. You schizophrenic. Start praying. Oh my god. What? Really? You're gonna try and kill a guy because what? He made fun of your AI alien post? You got a wide ass build. Thank you. Thank you. I do got a wide ass build. I try. Bitches love my wide ass build, actually. Someone tell him to stop cooking. I mean, you know what? I won't even time him out. You know, he love Diesel's wide ass. Great. You know, if I get killed because I made fun of a guy's AI alien posting, I'm gonna be very upset. Fuck off, man. You're a bitch. What you did just now is not cool. This stuff hasn't been going on this platform for about a decade for a reason. Alien stuff hasn't been going on the platform for a reason. This is so petty. You insulted me first. Nah, dude, I'm not gonna kill you. You just threatened my life. If you appear to try and square up at a stranger's home, I will not respond in kind with my fist. I will gun you down in cold blood, as is my Second Amendment rights as an American, as I do now have evidence of you threatening me physically. So, let it be known that it is my God-given right to blast you away to Kingdom Come, if that happens, okay? Please go outside. Unironically, touch some grass. I like this guy. Me too, Saga. I kind of like this guy. I think he can be around. He can be around. I can't believe this is the Mexican president's alt account. You are a brain dead adult. Yeah, int is my dump stat. What do you mean? You are a fucking child. I'm having the time of my life right now. What are you talking about? What? Yeah, I'm living and loving life, you know. I don't know what to tell you. You are illiterate. Is that it? Do you got anything else? Do you got anything? Do you got anything to say? Is there a problem with me outside of me being illiterate or being mean? Right? Who do you think wrote it? I write a lot of my scripts. I don't know how to fucking tell you. I know. Can we look at more hater channels from now on? This is fun. You were like those dudes on TikTok Live when shit didn't work out. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I run a business and I get to work from home on my own time. Yeah. Ooh. I feel creatively fulfilled with most of the things I do. Not all of it's gonna be amazing. Yeah, I admit that, but shit. Picking out random peoples for saying a joke about the quartering. God, no, your joke was bad. It was just bad. Hold on. Well, anyway, while you continue to mold, I'm gonna pick up the Quartering's woke hammer video, so. You drop ship coffee, you fucking retard. Fuck off with that. Technically, it's not drop shipping. We have a personal connection with the roaster. I can't physically roast the coffee in my own fucking home, buddy. Fucking MLM bullshit. He's in a fucking MLM. Guys, Diesel, I'm in an MLM, guys. I'm in an MLM.
Oh, go figure. Look at.
All right. He's cooking with Japanese, guys. He's cooking with Japanese. All right, you gotta understand. Oh, shit. You can't grow, can't roast it. So you what? Post it? Can you ship it? I do ship it. I ship it personally. Whose hater is this guy? Somebody come get this fucking crazy person. We definitely need a pissing around type emote. Absolutely, absolutely. Slug asked, "How was the pegging? I also bought some of your coffee. I added it to my ribeye. It was a 9 out of 10. Would be a 10 out of 10 if it had more slug. Ay, Dios. Here, your timeout. You know what? I'm just gonna ban you. Good. I'm gonna place a big order and charge it back every month. Okay. Filed that dispute personally. Sure.
Use keyword silence for 5% off your next order of Mana Potion coffee. JK, but no seriously, do it Diesel.
There we go. You banned. Goodbye. Easy. I'll make sure to tell my brother in case that actual chargebacks happen, by the way. So we will remedy that since it has been seen in stream now. We have evidence. You can't go around deliberately filing chargebacks. Holy shit. That was some good pre-stream entertainment. It helped get me in the mood, you know, get me a little feisty, get me a little zesty, you know. Oh, I know. We're gonna get some winners. The more I talk about these guys, the more I'm gonna attract their, like, you know, their fucking fans and shit, that are gonna be mad. But you might have seen recently that they're quartering. Yes, 100% real. Quartering was on Fresh and Fit, and we're gonna look at it. But as a follow-up to the recent things, I had been waiting for what quartering was gonna say in regards to Warhammer getting woke. So, yeah, he's hate watching you now. I know he's hate watching you now, and now he can't type. He has no power, unless he just wants to go charge back my coffee, I guess. And he threatened me. I've never seen anybody go through all of the stages that quick. Usually there's like a space in between, or they send me an email where they threaten me, you know?
Alright, so I've been trying to understand the Warhammer controversy unironically, and I think it's just people tired of Games Workshop's shit following a few people unironically mad about 2F custodies.
Yeah, so like this actual complaints you can make, like the nerfs to yeah, they just can't type in chat. So the nerfs to custodies people were mad about. That's a huge thing people are annoyed about in the codex, because the custodies are supposed to be like an army of elite units, so you don't field a lot of custodies. But yeah, so that was a big problem for it. But honestly, after talking with people, even Luton, I was really interested to actually see what.
Remember, only brew your coffee in a femboy mug.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, so he published a video. It was like 30 minutes long, and is basically contesting evidence on whether or not female custodies had always been a thing. He said the best argument against it is that it came kind of quickly and without much prior evidence of them existing. Because sometimes things are added with like via loose references to things that happened previously in a book, right? But this just kind of came out of nowhere. But that the way custodies are made, it is completely possible to do that, right? So it is possible to make a female custodies, and it was very interesting. It was very interesting to note that Luton said, I walked outside and I played in the grass with my kid, and all of these problems I kept seeing on Twitter seemed to disappear. You know? And I was like, oh, what a nice thing. Dude, I got another schizophrenic in the chat again.
This. Oh, look at this. First thing I do is I say, would you look at this? You know what I mean? Just look at it. Just look.
Okay, so I have to explain a conspiracy theory with this, right? I have to explain a conspiracy theory with all this shit, right? And that is in regards to people who are buying shares in companies. I banned the alt, guys. I banned the alt. It's the same guy on an alt account. Oh my god. Mods, if you're in chat and you see what is probably an alt of that fucking mentally deranged nutcase, just ban him. Just fucking ban him. Alright. If you ban enough counts, it might push him over the edge and it'll take a long walk off a short pier. Right? I mean, in 40k lore, wasn't there a sister battle who went toe-to-toe with the Custodes, or am I misunderstanding? Okay, so basically what happened is that a sister battle fought a space marine and won in Rogue Trader. So that was in the 80s, right? So it was a long time ago. Another bro fell out of the coconut tree.
Did you see Shadiversity also did a Warhammer video?
Yes, I did. We watched those on a previous stream, but if there's another Shad video, I will gladly look at it. But I want this stream is on the quartering tonight, so
Get it.
Yeah, well,
What the?
oh yeah, so I didn't even get to it. Yeah, so basically what they're saying is that these companies, these investment companies, are buying shares in companies like Games Workshop and making them woke, right? Why? So that way Big Gay can turn your kids gay and turn you gay and make you like cock, and nobody says to like cock, because liking cock is gay.
Heck is that?
what's wrong, everyone? Jeremy here from the quarter.
Oh my god, Grums. All right. So again, in previous editions, so the first edition codex that the Custodes were brought out in was in 7th edition. In 7th edition, they refer to the Custodes as a brotherhood, using that. In 10th edition, they say a fellowship of demigods rather than a brotherhood of demigods. Not to say that somebody couldn't be in a brotherhood and be a woman. That's completely possible as well. The reference of it is minuscule, and basically the back and forth is these 2 or 3 different references in a prior book. I think it is Sanguinius that mentions that he saw men and women clad in golden armor, the personal guards of the emperor, right? And I'm kind of truncating the quote, but that quote kind of denotes maybe he was talking about femme custodes and male custodes. It could have been custodes and sisters of silence, right? But the reality is that we don't know, and it's left deliberately vague on purpose, right? So there's not really confirmed evidence of that. And Luton, again, Luton is a huge expert. It was Conrad, not Sanguinius. I can't remember. Again, I am technically quoting the Luton video here. But again, and Luton even mentions this, when you sign up for 40K, sometimes things like the Femme Custody stuff just happen because there's no specific lore or coherent 100% lore. But what happens is that usually things that are added have more than one reference, right? It doesn't come out of nowhere. There's like a little bit, right? So basically, yeah, it could go either way, but there's evidence pointing in both directions, which is a commonality amongst 40K stuff, because sometimes lore can go back and forth on each other. And generally speaking, codices are also held in higher regard than the rest of the lore. So a new codices would supersede an old codices just as it supersedes the old rule set for that army. So, with that being said, I think a lot of these people that are engaging in this debate are hobby tourists. I don't think they actually care, okay? Like, Warhammer players are really autistic. This should die down soon. I really do think that, you know, come 5 years from now, Femme Custodes are gonna not even be a debate that we're having. Most people can accept Primaris Marines. A few years ago, people did not like the concept of a Primaris Marine at all. I know this all seems very nerdy, but these are basically like changes in the canon of the universe. There is no specific canon of Warhammer. Things change. It's very fluid. There's lots of unreliable narrators. That's normal. So I am not personally offended by the Femme Custodes thing. One, because I'm not scared of women. Two, because Custodes and Space Marines are not similar at all. The only thing that is similar between a Custodes and a Space Marine is that they are both big and wear power armor. But the Custodes are biggerer. So there. But yeah, these people saying this, and I guarantee you, Quartering is going to make some fucking oopsies with the lore here, and I cannot wait to correct them.
Well, we all saw it coming. Warhammer, of course, getting woke, just like all the great video games and board games of our time. I also often lament how lame games like Magic the Gathering have gotten since they decided to embrace political ideologies and care more about having enough trans representation in their fictional video game or fictional card game, as opposed to worrying about destroying.
Okay, I gotta be frank. What has changed about Magic that made it worse? Like, Magic has been pretty much the same since the beginning, right? What changed? That they added more diversity to different characters? Like, I mean, like, the rules of the game are what is the most important. I care like not that much about the lore of Magic, but it just means so little.
The secondary market with ridiculous reprints and crappy card stock quality. But anyway, Warhammer.
The crappy card stock quality is a definite true thing. I will say cards for Magic have gotten dinner, right? And it's definitely not been good. AI art. Yeah, there has been AI art controversies. Magic's been has been saying that they're not going to do it. But there have been some signs. People were mad about Primaris Marines that people get mad about. Yeah. Yeah. They get mad about every lore change that happens, but really the lore changes constantly with 40K, and that's just something you sign up for.
Is probably on a completely different level in terms of
and the card stock getting worse for Magic is a problem. 100%. I agree with that.
Lore, in terms of cost to enjoy the game, and the monopoly that the company
and yes, the cost of being able to enjoy a lot of these things has been increasing a lot. Magic, if you want to play standard, if you're a crazy person if you play standard in real life, okay, you play Magic the Gathering Arena if you want to play standard. Otherwise, you just go and buy a commander deck and have fun with your friends like a normal person, or you go to like a pre-release like event. But you don't do standard. Nobody does standard in person unless you're a competitive player, which is a very small number of people.
That runs it actually has over the game. Games Workshop is probably one of the most hated companies by the fans in the game of any company. Like, is it? I can't think of another
Jeremy sounds more and more like Harmon Smith.
He saw the pony cards and it hurt him. Yeah, play standard only. Yeah, just don't play standard. I play standard on MTGA, but that's it. I don't ever buy physical standard cards. And yeah, the inflation of card prices are a humongous problem. But none of those things have anything to do with the representation of characters. I also think there were two characters that for a long time were very much rumored to be gay. And then the writer of like the novels that take place in the universe of MTGA, I think it was two Planeswalkers. They just like doubled back on it and made the characters not gay, even though everything was pointing to them, you know, having that kiss, you know, the will they, won't they trope.
Hated by its fans. Maybe Activision, Call of Duty, you could maybe say that. Well, coincidentally, 3 of the top 4 stockholders in Game Workshop are BlackRock and Vanguard Group, I believe. We're going to take a look at that. So you knew it was coming. These woke ESG companies invest, and of course, now
yeah. So basically, the implication, and this is a conspiracy theory, the implication is that these humongous investment firms have some ulterior woke motive, and with that woke motive, they are trying to ruin hobbies and turn people woke, right? So, you know, famously, BlackRock is not a company I would ever associate with wokeness whatsoever, but Apparently, that is the conspiracy theory.
Get it. Games Workshop makes insulting retcon to Warhammer 40k lore, claims all male Adaptus cadre faction had always featured female.
Wait a second. What the fuck? It's like a spelling error in this article. Is that a spelling error? Bounding into comments. Or, Jesus, I can't speak today. I guess the schizophrenic was right. Games Workshop makes insulting retcon to Warhammer 40k lore, claims all-male Adeptus Cadre faction. No, it's Adeptus Custodes. Why is it spelt wrong? What?
Members. Now, I am not a deep lore Warhammer person, although I did do I had fun playing Warhammer RP with Arch Warhammer and V. I think Sargon too for a little while. I had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. He was doing RP with all the white nationalist Andes.
Skaven for the win. But anyway, in a development that can only be described as massively insulting to the intelligence of their player base, Warhammer 40k developer Games Workshop has taken to claiming that despite years of official canonical evidence to the contrary, the game's all-male Adaptus Custodes faction, Custodes or Custodes, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, has always included female members among its ranks. Well, this is just simply not.
Was the playmat the one where they kiss? I got no idea if it was official, but I remember a friend who got me into Magic had one. They were characters in like a novel, because there's like a novel series that's also going on as well. You know, like the Fire Girl. I don't follow the Magic lore. I just remember that being a thing that happened and people got mad about it. I don't want to misrepresent the drama, but I do specifically remember that being a contentious event.
True. The retcon to the franchise long-standing lore was first revealed to the public on April 13th, courtesy of YouTuber Ash Barker's preview of the upcoming 10th edition of Warhammer 40k guidebook, Codex Adaptus Custodes. I don't know, I'm going to keep mispronouncing that. Here's the thing. What is Warhammer? Well, it is...
I cannot wait to see what he has to say about this.
Is a huge universe, a brutal universe that people love. There are lots of ways you can enjoy the Warhammer universe, whether it's like Total War Warhammer video games, or it's playing the Warhammer RPG, or I'm sorry, like it's like D&D but with Warhammer lore. You can play the actual figurine, the minifigure game, which is where they make a lot of money selling.
This guy has no idea what he's fucking talking about. Total War Warhammer is Warhammer Fantasy, which takes place in a universe that no longer technically exists anymore, but now it's come back in Warhammer the Old World. The Warhammer RPG, there's two of them. Warhammer 40k Maledictum, which is a very systems-based RPG with lots of number crunching. Or you could play Warhammer Wrath and Glory, which is what I do with my players, where you take the position of heroes, part of a party, and you kind of have a narrative campaign, much like D&D. However, it's very different. Wrath and Glory plays nothing like D&D. It is a D6 dice system. And then there is the wargaming tabletop miniatures game.
This is a
which is
certified
also
hood
different.
classic.
I have no clever message today. Looking forward to more Warhammer lore.
Thank you, philosopher. The whole BlackRock is woke thing comes from some big showcase they did for investors years ago, where the head guy said something about facilitating social change using investment funds. Very
expensive figures. Therein, eagle-eyed viewers noticed that the book's introduction of actual characters in the lore. Games Workshop had specifically chosen to highlight a battlefield story concerning a female custodian by the name of Calades Kesh.
Calades Tarvalia Kesh, which is, not that difficult to say. It's a little mouthful. All the custodies have names like that, and basically the short story that is brought up that we keep seeing reference in this, Calades is doing a blood game, which is basically where the custodies train themselves on whether or not they can break each other's defenses and shit like that. The custodies spend a lot of time sitting around and doing nothing. Only recently have they started to do things, which is...
Hearing the courting speak pure hobby tourist Japanese makes my ears bleed.
Yeah,
lol.
he is actually a hobby tourist. This is actual hobby tourism that they hear all these people bitching about.
Custodian Calades Kesh stood upon the bridge of the Cobra-class destroyer, begins a paragraph within the subsection headline, The Solar Fastness. Named Vigilant Flame, the warship belonged to the mighty Battlefleet Solar. She anchored in the shadows.
Yeah, he's just reading a quote from the short story now.
For his command throne. Now, here's the thing. Retcons, we're used to this, right? Got to have more strong, independent women who don't.
Okay, whoa. There's tons of women in the 40k universe that are all strong. There's recently a novel that was published about a Catachan warfighter who is a woman.
Need no man. That's
okay, and independent women who don't need no man. Custodes have no sex drive. Custodes are past the point of having a sex drive. So are Space Marines, by the way. Okay, I do believe Sisters of Battle can have sex. They don't take an oath of celibacy, but like they're so removed from their gender by the time they become a Custodes. You know, they don't want for that. Their aggression drives are amplified in the alchemical processes that make a Custodes. Okay, so they might as well not have their genitals at that point. Okay, I highly doubt Calidus, and this isn't like information anybody would need to know, but like I highly doubt Calidus has a period anymore. Okay, she's gone from being a normal sized baby, because that's when they take the Custodes, right? And then they turned her into a 9-foot tall demigod who can kill hundreds of people. Like, I'm more inclined to believe something like the Sweet Baby drama where a bunch of crazy people are convincing dumb game execs to listen to their crazy bad ideas than this shit. Yes. I 100% agree with that, Axis. 100%. The level of believability is much lower. I can more willingly accept that. Yeah, the powerful women in 40k is not new at all. Absolutely.
The whole purpose. We can't create anything new. We must just change and wokeify whatever the old stuff was.
Okay, also, here's another thing. We don't know how... I'm sorry, I'm going to keep complaining about nerd shit, okay? But if you guys haven't been able to tell, I actually kind of care about this shit. The Custodes are a rank of 10,000 elite guards, which is true. But they do die in battles. That happens. And so they need a way to make new Custodes. So the Custodes have been around since the Great Crusade, which is roughly 30,000 years before the current events of Warhammer 40,000. If Custodes die, and it's only 10,000 of them, they need to get new people to replace them. Who's to say they didn't pick up some women along the time over the next 10,000 years? 10,000 years is a lot of fucking time.
As noted above, prior to the publication of this new codex, which is like, lore for the game, the concept of a female custodian didn't exist. A legion of 10,000 elite, genetically modified warriors who serve as the personal guard to the ruler of the Imperium of Man, the God Emperor of Mankind, as explained in their initial introduction in 2017's Codex Space Marines 8th edition. All members of Adaptus began their lives as the infant sons of the noble house.
Yeah, okay. But it doesn't say they can't make a woman into a Custodes. That's the point. The idea is that there's a position of omission. Something is deliberately left out. We don't know how the Custodes are made, okay? We don't know how. So they could be anything, right? That's the implication there. Obviously, right, if you have a medieval feudal setting, a lot of these noble houses are going to be giving their firstborn sons to the emperor. That makes complete sense. Now, what if you're a noble family that has a firstborn daughter and has no sons? What if your secondborn, your thirdborn, your fourthborn son all go off into the Imperial Guard? Well, then, you got to pay your rights and favors to the God Emperor of Mankind, so you give your daughter, your firstborn daughter, to the Emperor, and he turns your daughter into a weapon of his will, okay? That is completely possible to happen. Now, does this mean that women make up an equal amount of the Custodes as men? No, probably not. There's probably less women in the Custodes than men, right? There'd probably be a focus on birthing men over women to take over noble houses on Holy Terra, but that doesn't mean that it's completely off the table, okay? These are the ideas that we need to look at with the lore because of how much is based on, like, feudalism and medieval society. And also think about the pragmatism here. Why would the emperor be so stupid to turn away, like, what, 50% of the applicants for Custodes when he has the power to do so, okay? Because he is the God Emperor. I like the idea that the Big E made women custodians, but didn't want to make women space marines simply because it felt like work. Well, what is it? The techno babble. So the reason that there's no female space marines is because it would like corrupt the gene seed or something, or it was like it would be a problem. It would make it more difficult. Now, Belisarius Cawl invented a new version of a space marine. It is completely possible that through Belisarius Cawl, we end up with female space marines. Though I think custodies are the, you know, the what we're going to reconcile, because they don't want to do female space marines because it'll probably cause a big fucking hullabaloo, right? Yeah, the weird thing with space marines is them being gendered is less to do with Big E and more the Primarchs of each legion. That is also true. The gene seed comes from the Primarch. The Primarchs are the sons of the Emperor, yada yada. And also, I should mention that the Sisters of Battle kind of work as the female equivalent to the Space Marines in that, you know, there's this whole idea about the church, right? So the Space Marines inhabit the body of like a Catholic priest versus a Catholic nun, right? So that's the idea. And yeah, Fabius Bile, who could make a Chaos Woman Space Marine. In fact, it probably should be, if Fabius Bile is concerned, right? And I understand this is all very nerdy and not making any sense, but I'm telling you this, and even if you don't understand it, the point is that I'm showing you that Quartering has no idea what he's talking about. Okay? Because there is an actual debate and conversation that could be had based on information inside the lore, as well as based on the characters that we know about.
Of Terra, the Adeptus are introduced in Warhammer 40k Codex Space Marines 8th edition, elaborating this brief bit alone. So essentially, look, they weren't women. Now,
I hate how he does this. Quartering always does this, where he's like reading an article, finds the point he needs, stops reading it, right? Or better yet, the Quartering will be reading something, find something that contradicts his point, and then say, well, blah, 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 right? To make it basically agree with his point, right? He does this all the time, where he can't recognize when he's wrong and will boldface lie on camera, okay? And I hate that shit. He's a terrible fucking reporter in every sense of the word. Okay? He just is.
What do you think the company did when its own customers knew the lore better than they did? In turn, blatantly lying to customers' face.
If 40k was actually woke, they'd get rid of the Sisters Replenisher before making a female custodies. Or at least reversing them to that one old 3rd edition one that wasn't a nude suicide battle nun.
That's true. Listen, if 40k was getting woke access, why is Slaanesh still in the setting? Okay, I mean, Games Workshop probably would much prefer if Slaanesh wasn't in the setting, but Slaanesh is in the setting. Okay? Slaanesh is like the rape demon. Why would you keep that in? That is not... I mean, Jesus Christ. The Iron Warriors, right? They use Demunculaba to make more Space Marines, and that is like a sex crime, war crime. Like,
the official account then fired back. Okay, so following the revelations that Codex Adeptus Custodes would be running aground of the franchise's established lore, in response to an April 13th post made to the official Warhammer Twitter account announcing that the guidebook was now available for pre-order, site user, I don't know, 721252, directly inquired to Games Workshop. Why did you make them female?
Some fucking egg account made this account.
In a turn of blatantly lying to the fans' face, the official account fired back, since the first of the 10,000 were created, there have always been female custodians. To get ruthlessly...
Okay, so again, the only argument you can make as somebody who's a fan of 40k, and I will agree with this, is that there's not enough to bring out to on either side to say if one or the other, right? The more evidence you have, the better it'll be, right, for that thing being true, right? And that's how Luton looks at it. I'm less so somebody who feels like he needs that. For example, the Votan were originally the Squats in Rogue Trader. They come back later as its own group and faction. But the thing is that the Votan and their trade and working with the Imperium, which, yes, these space dwarves who are clones do work with the Imperium from time to time. They weren't really mentioned that much. They were mentioned as squats, but not in the same capacity that the Votan are. And, you know, over the last 20,000 years of the Imperium existing, you would think that there would be more mentions about how the Votan clone their people, or maybe use AI in their cities, or do any of these things that are important and would be considered extremely evil by the Imperium standards. And they were just added into the setting. Okay, which, by the way, there's no Votan books still, by the way. We could use a novel on them. Please, GW. No? Okay, what a surprise. But the point of all this is that lore in 40K is something that is very malleable. It is not always consistent, and oftentimes people in stories could be lying or might even be deliberately leaving stuff out. Mentions of the other two Primarchs have been deliberately removed by a powerful psyker who works for the Emperor of Mankind. Okay? And like the idea that we could know about these two Primarchs, but that somebody in the setting is actively suppressing that information from us knowing, right? That's somebody in lore stopping us from knowing. That's incredibly interesting, right? But that makes you wonder what happened with these two Primarchs. They must have done something really bad, but we don't know, okay? We just don't know. But that's how things work in Warhammer, right? Where somebody can go out of their way to pluck information out of the story to keep you from remembering, right? So that same thing could have happened. It's completely within the realm of possibility. You kind of stupidly smart in the long run. You never write yourself in a corner with your own book. See, the problem is, though, is that you sometimes get things like this, where it's like lore whiplash, where it doesn't really make sense or it comes out of nowhere. And here, yeah, it does kind of come out of nowhere. And since the schizo is gone, buy my coffee. Yeah, I know I don't roast it. Everybody knows that. I've been very clear about that. That I don't roast it, but I ship it myself. I tested out all the flavors. We work very personally with our roaster named John for all of the coffee you guys get. In the future, we'll probably do blends as well, so I will have more of a hand in designing those as well. But yeah, so we do put a lot of effort and time into it. It is not dropship coffee, you fucking schizo Andy, but yeah, let me pin it. There we go.
Ratioed would be an understatement. Not only did they get ruthlessly ratioed, but they were blocking people left and right. If you see, first of all, this comment, that's not true. They were always men. See my pinned thread. You can make them female now. Mistake when you have the Sisters of Silence, which is what you could use them for. But why lie about the past? And you see, obviously, all the lore from the book. These men never leave Earth. And a new identity upon culmination, allowing every dynasty that had offered up.
For the sake of my life, that's a joke. Well, you know, I've seen some Tawusi on the internet, and I totally get why a loyal guard would start acting unwise.
Its sons to claim the children of the successful ones alive and well among the Golden Brotherhood. There were none gainsay alone. Brotherhood of there's multiple examples of people in the comments just absolutely crushing. Look at this.
Okay. Here's the thing, is that this would be a better argument if the argument against femme space marines wasn't you can't make female space marines, because you have that precedent where you know that you can't make female space marines. This is not that. You don't know how they're made.
Female player here. I have Ultramarines, Orcs, Chaos Marines, and I collect various minis that I enjoy, like Grimaldus. From now on, I will just be 3D printing. I will pirate your books and share them with all my friends for free. This is pandering and insulting and condescending. 7,000 likes. What you might not know about the game, if you don't understand Warhammer.
I can't wait to see what he says. I can't wait to see what he says.
what it is. They make all the money off leading with an iron grip these miniatures that you use to play the game. Now you could use tokens or you could use.
That's true. They do. I will say that. They are the miniatures market.
Homemade stuff. But the fact of the matter is people spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on these miniatures because part of the hobby is to collect them.
You know, the thing is, you know what's funny? People always say, I'm going to go 3D print. I'm done supporting you, Games Workshop. All of a sudden, a new miniature comes out, and guess what? These fucking assholes are there day one buying a pre-order.
Paint them to your own, your own likings. And, well, Games Workshop makes a lot of money for that. Well, in 2024, you can pretty much get a pretty nice 3D printer for under $500. And you can see, like, people can 3D print your models. Hope this was worth it. Why, prior to this book, has there not been a single named character in all the codices or books? This is the laziest thing I've ever seen. By the way, all these having thousands of likes I've ever heard from this account.
Guys, it's thousands of likes. That means everybody in the fandom that is millions strong all agree with this point.
Ever since 1987, not so much as a whisper in lore or novels, or a single miniature.
Not since 80. Well, if you want to be that pedantic about it, buddy, if you want to be that fucking pedantic about it, there actually has been reference to female Space Marines as well as miniatures made. So if anything, it sounds like there'd be more argument for a femme Space Marine on the basis of the fact that old lore says that there could have been, but they weren't popular. So that's why the miniatures were taken away.
All of a sudden, boom, they were always a thing. No world building, no development, so disappointing and pathetic. I'll just watch.
And yeah, I will admit, it does kind of come out of fucking nowhere. But again, on top of that, I don't think most of these people have read the Codex short story at all either. So there's that.
Walk away. You aren't going to replace the income lost, making the 100 women who care happy. By the way, just to point out, it's not just men that are upset by this. And again, with the way the media will spin this, the way that like the games journalists will spin this is like men angry that women in their game. There are women in the Warhammer universe. So it's like people who have never played the game or even like casually asked about it. There are women in the universe. It's not like it was all men forever men. And you see this. I don't think this approach is going to go as well as you think it will. And also, Warhammer.
Yeah, I agree, Axis. The problematic thing they do in terms of models is they discontinue certain sets. 100%. That's a huge fucking problem.
Disney and Doctor Who to being allergic to money. Here's Thor Odinson. I've been a Games Workshop customer for over 30 years. This is the kind of money I spend on Games Workshop products, whether it's at my local game store, online stores, the Games Workshop web store.
You know, this guy's like, I'm going to stop collecting. No, he's not. No, he's not. You don't spend that kind of money and then go, oh, I'm not going to keep collecting. That kind of person doesn't do that. They say that, but they don't do that. People don't do that.
I collect over a dozen 40K.
This is somebody who's like, I'm addicted to it, okay? They don't just stop, right? They might be mad. They might stop for a little bit, but it's all right up until that new Dark Angels set comes out, and you're like, that looks good. I'm going to buy it for $120.
Armies totaling approximately 50,000 points, which is one of which is over 4,000 points. I have multiple Blood Bowl.
Yeah, you have multiple Blood Bowl teams and Necromunda. You're not leaving. You're stuck.
Necromunda gangs. I'm currently building Bretonia, the Army of the Old World. I went ahead and canceled my Warhammer Plus subscription.
This person is insane.
I'm going to pause my spending on Warhammer products for the time being and take some time to reevaluate.
Is that really how much a set of minis costs? Yeah. Yeah. For a box of Ultramarines, it might cost like 60. But a lot of the bigger units, 100 plus.
How much, if anything, I want to spend in the future. If you're not going to respect the time and effort that people put into setting and learning about the world you've built, you're not going to support the customers who've helped you build your company for decades, then I don't see a reason to put any effort into supporting Games Workshop in return. And you can just see this person has spent thousands and thousands of dollars in like the last year.
In like the last year. You have a problem. You are not going to stop spending stuff, period.
All right. This is a heavy hitter customer. And like, again, they could have built them into the world. They could have created new factions. They could
The thing is, you fucking piece of shit, that is, even if they worked it into the world and they, left little hints for the next few times, like, it didn't matter what They did. You were always going to be mad about this. This was always going to happen. It didn't matter if you just, boom, dropped it like they did in the codices or sprinkled it out for everybody to discover over time. It still would have been a problem for you. This video about Warhammer going woke would have still existed because that's the kind of person you are, Jeremy. Because you can't fucking enjoy anything, you fucking fat fuck. God, hate this man.
Have done literally anything else except for attacking your own.
Oh, you could have made a different faction. You could have made Misters of Battle. You could have made the Brothers of Silence. Get the fuck out of here. It doesn't matter what the fuck you do for these kind of people. The people like Jeremy, they don't care about any of this. They don't like anything. He makes money hand over fist, just lying and being a piece of shit fat fuck online. Do you realize how much money Jeremy makes? It's insane, guys. Okay, his shit coffee, which it is shit in my opinion. You buy his coffee if you think it's fine. In my opinion, I think it's bad, and I think mine is better. In my opinion, this is not me legally saying that you need to stop buying his coffee. You can still do that, but the thing that really annoys the shit out of me is that sometimes Quartering will reference himself. He owns a publication, if you guys didn't know that, right? It's a right-wing publication, because of course the fuck it is. But sometimes he reads articles from his own website with his own journalist, which is like the best self-jerk-offy thing ever, because now you don't even need to go outside or find opinions outside of your bubble, okay? Also, Jeremy should quit forever ago when they announced the orcs are non-binary. That's true. Orcs literally don't have genders. They present as male, but there's no genitals. If you were to open up an orc and put it on the floor, take off its pants, there's no cock, no nothing, there's no balls, no nothing. What's so weird is that they can absolutely not interact with female custodies. They have an entire fucking galaxy to play in. Yes.
Customers arguing with your own customers. And then you look at shareholder statistics, of course. The number 2 and number 3 shareholders are BlackRock and Vanguard. Would you look at that? Just another woke company. These companies, once they're publicly traded.
Oh my god. Yeah. The public woke companies, yeah. So who owns all these
Don't do
investment
plastic
companies?
minis, not even once. Warhammer figures are a game away drug.
That's true. The fuck, I completely lost my train of thought. Fuck. I don't remember.
They just go out and they don't care about pissing off their customers anymore because they no longer answer to them. They answer
Oh yeah. Jeremy, who owns all these investment companies, huh? Is it the Jews? Is it the Jews who run all the investment companies that are trying to make the world woke so that way they could, I don't know, ruin the gene pool or something stupid like that?
You know, places like BlackRock.
40K players, what's in your pants? The boys. Wow.
Places like that. I mean, you can look, they're hiding replies. Look at what happened to game. Look at what happened to their stock. Look what happened.
Okay. Pause. Remember, this codices thing happened at a very interesting time for GW, right? Because they just removed a bunch of miniatures from their production line, which was a pretty bad fucking business move, in my opinion, right? I mean, BlackRock and Vanguard have a combined 11.5% total share, by the way. I don't know if that's a lot, but you don't need a majority share to have any sway. But yeah, but don't you need a majority share to have any sway? Yes.
Into their stock. That's a massive drop. Games Workshop Group.
That's not an okay. I also want to say that that's not an indicator of the go woke, go broke thing, right? There's so many factors that go into a buying and selling of something on market that saying that it's on the basis of this codices thing is outrageous. Okay, there's so many different things that this could be based on or why this happened, right? Like it doesn't necessarily have to be because it went woke. Like that's such cope. Here, I'll look it up in the long term. Let's look it up in the long term. I mean, if I look at it in the past day, I could say, oh, this was because Games Workshop went woke this day, right? Or I could be like, oh, this is because Games Workshop went woke this day. When it kind of seems to be evening out, right? And then, hold on, let's look at it the past year. Oh, what happened in February? I don't fucking know. All right? Stock analysis is not, oh, wow, it looks like they went woke, they went broke. That's not how things work, okay? That's not how things work. If I look at the past 5 years, there was probably a huge jump after the crash in 2020, right? So, oh, everybody's in a pandemic, March 20th, 2020, right? Oh, their shares go down because people are selling because of the pandemic. Oh, and then guess what? Over the course of the pandemic, GW is having record years. Oh, it's doing amazing. They're trading at higher values than ever. The world starts going back to normal. Oh, the stock starts to go down again. GW's plummeting stocks are due to a lack of new tower releases. Source, my local ethereal. Hold on. They always show 1% variation, like that isn't just a normal market day fluctuation. Yeah. It's a normal market fluctuation. All right. I think many forget outrage is to, yeah. I think many forget outrage is managed in pitch marketing meetings. They wanted this. Quartering is getting them some bread. Yeah, I want to buy Custodes now because of all this drama. It's making me want to buy Custodes. Okay, I know I said I was going to look at quartering in Fresh and Fit, but I have to go. Something has come up, and I apologize greatly. I know this was a short stream, and I spent 30 minutes making fun of somebody who's apparently a fan of me, but hates everything I do. So I am going to go do that and dedicate the time to the people that I made my time with. So I am going to go do that now. So goodbye, stream. I apologize for the short stream. Have a wonderful evening, and I hope my yelling was good enough for you today. So